All right. Hello, hello. So, happy Thursday, everyone. It is Ronnie Bartless, our business strategist, Ashley Rhoda, your brand strategist. And today is Thursday, so it is Mimosa Hotline.
Yay! Just hands.
And I know, as always, we come to you live with topics that are present for us during the week, our experience, expertise, and knowledge to share with you. And our favorite thing is when you hop in the comments and you join us, or you share live with us or on the replay, things that are coming up for you, things that you took away from what we said, or things that you can relate to, or things that you totally disagree with. By all means, go for it. And so today, I think we're just going to kind of dive in. Ronnie, I'm going to do my thing where I mute me and then check on comments and all the things. But yeah.
Oh, okay. So which topic did we want to start with? With programs, uncertainty, busy work? What's happening here? Those are all like
all of it. And
all of it.
Yeah. Oh, because
are you,
button.
Are you having a Mercury retrograde moment? Because I feel like my computer's about to explode.
Yeah, no, it was more of a blonde moment, to be honest. I was looking for the play button, but it was behind the computer that I have. We're good. Promise everyone we're good. So if anyone is live with us and has comments, then we'll be able to see them in real time. So tech, love it. But yeah, what did we want to start with? I don't know. Does one stand out to you? I mean, I'm down for all of them.
Well, okay, let's kind of like talk about programs, because you want to talk about programs, but I feel like that lends itself to the topic of uncertainty as well, and busy work. Like I feel like these can very well be interrelated to each other.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah. It made me think of the other thing that I did the live on too. So anyways, yes, let's talk about this. Okay, so for me, we'll use me as kind of where it started, but also why I presented this topic for us this week. So in full transparency, I am building out 3 new programs for my business. So one is community, one is consciousness, and one is challenge based. And so it's top of mind for me. It's what I'm working on. And I am honestly loving it. Like I love building it out and thinking about it. But for me, my approach has been, I mean, we are both course whores, and I would never call you a whore, but in this sense, we are course whores. We love them. We sign up for them, programs, courses, challenges, whatever you can give us. We love knowledge. So we love taking these. And so for me, this time around, I've actually really enjoyed it, because for the first time, I don't feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't feel like I'm trying to make a sale. For the first time, I'm like, I know how to do this. I know what I want. And I really want to create this experience. And I have so much experience with my clients that I'm like, oh man, they're going to love this. And there's like different elements to it. And so for me, there's the build out process, and also rob and duplicate. I'm in a large investment community right now. We're about to take Shauna Van Bogart's Mind Over Matter. So I'm looking at that. I'm seeing what I like about their rollouts, from the email campaign that I can tell they're sending me, from the welcome email. What did I like? What didn't I like? From how they're setting up the groups, or Patreon versus Facebook, all these things. And so I'm just really observing the whole thing, and also feeling really good about, reference back to our past video on the recession and things, and talking about when I said, I thought this was kind of smart on the replay. I was like, damn, Ashley, that was smart. Look at you. But it was like when I said, business is like a game, and we either send in our offense or we send in our defense, AKA our high-end products or our low-end products, and how we play the game. And I just felt really prepared. Like, okay, not only can I run my business in a strategic, educated way, but 2, I also serve my people, because these are not, maybe this is going to scare everyone off this call, but it is what it is. My high-end offer is $30,000. These are not going to be that. These are like $5,000 courses that, in my opinion, and of course, payment plans, but don't tell yourselves that it's pay in full anyways. But payment plans for people. So it's doable for people right now. And so that was what was on my mind. I know I'd started talking to you about programs and getting your ideas of, landing page versus sales page.
Right.
So that's kind of the context, everyone. That's not for me to talk long-winded, but that's where we're at. So, I could keep going, but where do you want to take this?
So, I think the place to start is talking about like why it is a good idea or important for you to do programs in your business, particularly if you're a service-based business or a coach. As a service-based business, we can only help so many people at a time, right?
Yeah.
And
Dollar per hour.
right, you're in that kind of like cycle of, I can't create more time, so I can't create more revenue. So I either increase my price or I figure out some other way to scale my business and reach more people. I think there are a lot of factors that go into that, right? Like it's a strategy of how to scale your business into a different kind of profit center. I also feel like it's also a personal choice for people. So like there's a difference between an actual business strategy and not putting any emotion into it and like thinking about it like a business plan of, I need to scale, so I need to innovate with a specific product or program. And then the human side of it, of what you want to do. Like for myself, yes, I have an evergreen course. It's a small little evergreen course. I've had it up for almost 2 years. I don't promote it very hard because I'm not in a place right now where that is joyful for me.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So as we all got to meet our third bestie last week, Leilani Filipinko, who was on with us, we were literally just talking about this in her business in another capacity. Now, I'm going to be vague on this, but let me just put it this way. She has her very profitable core business of what she's doing, and she has 2 new opportunities that have kind of floated in for her. And she's trying to decide, is this in alignment with the direction I'm going, complementing, or in contrast and would like send me this way? So it makes me think of this because you need to think of the day and the week you want to live as a business owner and entrepreneur. You want to have, your marketing time on the day, client one-on-one meetings, networking calls, hosting a TV show, a talk show, Facebook show, whatever we want to call this. I just want TV. Like, let's go TV.
I mean, Netflix, please call.
And champagne sponsor when we get to that level. Like
I need Netflix and Tattinger. Like,
yes, we should just be able to either have like
manifesting this right now.
I know, wineries that we go to and visit for different tastings, or we get sponsored and they send it to us and we promote them and have them on.
Oh no.
No?
Total reality show. We need to like cameras follow us around to the wineries and stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we'll do that too. So maybe it's like destination mimosa hotline. Oh. Someone pitch us, honeys. Someone pitch us.
Tell you. We need.
I don't even want to tell you this, but I may or may not have a connection that I cannot wait to network more with, who is actually a PR specialist in Chicago. She was on all of the morning news anchor, like all of the things. She was the news producer. So she literally produced the, like, I believe ABC, CBS shows for many, many years. She did all the things, and I cannot wait to be a student of hers. So cannot wait, but let's do this.
Yeah. But anyway. Side tangent.
Yeah. So it goes back though about like, what type of week do you want to live? And then for you yourself, as you were just saying, like right now, your headspace, your business is in running the strategy consulting clients that you have, but you're also looking into acquisition right now. That you're a buyer right now. That's where your head's at. And for me, I'm looking at it like, okay, I definitely have my high-end clients, which I love and appreciate. And I did not just out them on their budget, but I'm just saying I have them. And to serve more people, because I am like, I will not say who, but this afternoon, literally an hour after this live, I have a call with somebody that reached out from my newsletter saying, hey, Ashley, I love you so much. I really want to work with you, but 30,000 after what we invested in this community is just not possible. What else do you have? And I can't wait, because here goes offense, not, it's like, here's the offensive line to be like, we have hourly, we have intensives, we have the new programs. Like, I might even give her a discount if she's willing to like review the program I'm putting together that I think will fit her well. Give me a little feedback, and then in you go. Like, who knows? But so, and I'm deciding like, yes, this is the life I want to live. Like, could I get cute for Mimosa Hotline and then be cute enough to do my, trainings for the rest of the day? Absolutely. Like, I'm already camera ready. Let's do it. So you have to decide on that element of like what you were saying. What do you want your week and your work life to look like?
Yeah. The strategy part of it's easy, really. Right. I mean, like,
Ish, say more,
ish.
because to us, yes, but not to the viewers.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like you create a program, you market it, like the strategy of that's like easy. It's a way to scale a business,
Ronnie, it is
right?
for us, but not for everyone.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, yes. I mean,
The
yes and
idea
no.
is that you create something that evergreen, by the way, if no one knows what
Right.
evergreen is, it's something that you record once and you can do over and over again and not have
Right.
to record. Maybe you're live for a Q&A at the end, but you can
Yeah.
repurpose it. The other ones are live events where you're strategically going live every month or however
Right.
you structure it. And that's where the strategy is, in my opinion. I love you. I'm going to disagree hard, because you have to decide, what is it that you're doing? Are you doing a 1-day masterclass, a 3-day masterclass, a 5-day challenge, a month-long challenge, an annual thing, a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month? Like, holy shit.
So, okay, what I'm going to tell you though is that's tactical. That's
Okay.
not the hard part, right? Like the how to do that. The hard part is deciding what you want to do.
Okay, I see that. Okay, I see that. Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
I'll tell you this straight up front. 2 years ago, had you asked me, I'm like, program business. That's all I want.
I heard that. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, program business. That's all I want. And I want to get out of one-on-one work. And a year later, I'm like, yeah, no, not for me. Probably. I think I'm going to stick with my one-on-one clients.
Yeah.
And then even this year, like that has changed for me. Like, this is how our businesses kind of run. It's into that topic of uncertainty. Like right at this moment, you're in uncertainty of like the next month with a move. I'm in uncertainty of finding and investing in new businesses, like
We're always in the unknown zone. Like, I don't, to some element, it's been interesting over the years, because I spoke to somebody that was new to business, I think 2 years yesterday. And it was interesting speaking to her, because some of the discernment I have from being in business as long as I have, which I think it's 8 years now. We got to do the math on that, by the way. Anyways, 8 years now. I was able to know things that she just couldn't, because she's still too green to it, not by her, not as a fault or a negative. It's just, she doesn't know. She hasn't done it. She hasn't tried being all service. She hasn't tried being all program. She doesn't know what she wants.
Yeah.
So, this uncertainty is really interesting to me, because also, in the course that we're with, it's pulling out that results come from the unknown, because the more that we control and the more that we say, this is the outcome I want, and not leave our eyes open for that or something better. I think she was talking about you, by the way. She said when she went, hold on, wait for it. Antiquing, when she went antiquing and stuff, that, she would go in and have to see absolutely everything, because the mindset was she didn't want to miss anything, versus going in just for the one thing and seeing what she saw, not having an outcome. And that, oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, did I quantum leap yesterday? Oh my God. I was at like 2 back-to-back showers, licking salt, doing all of my crazy woo shit. I had candles burning. I was journaling. I was like, oh my God, this one hurt. It was rough. But like, that uncertainty is so true. We think we know what we want, but then again, entrepreneurship is like, try it and see what you like. Like, you may think, oops, I just pushed the cat off the desk. It was not graceful. I was like, push. And he was like, so it's like that uncertainty. There's no way to know. Like, even working with us, and we're like, and you say, I want a YouTube channel. You say you want a newsletter. You say you want to build a course. You say you want to do this. The only thing that we can do, oh my God, get off, is just one of those days. I didn't lock him in the bathroom. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I don't care. I love it.
I gotta be more subtle about it though. Anyways, I'm just like, push cat, no cat, stop it, cat. Anyways, there's no way to know until you do it. And I think one thing I've learned, literally, I'm embarrassed to say, in the last month, I was a business owner that did things and then threw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, I would do the course and be like, it didn't work. So like, that doesn't work for me. And then I would do something else that didn't work for me. What I have learned, and God, I could be so successful by now if I had known this. Shamika has taught me that it is, Shamika, Sandra, all of them, Anna, all of them have taught me that it isn't the do and stop. method. It's the do and refine and tweak and refine and tweak and refine. The first year you get no one. The second year you get 2. The third year you get 30. The fourth year you get 4. And you just keep refining until it is a proven process, no brainer thing. I can't tell you, I'm embarrassed. I am utterly embarrassed how many courses I've built, fully built out and trashed because God dang it, because had I just kept the curriculum and tried it again, or I'm a new me a year later, like, what's the phrase? A good idea at the wrong time is still the wrong time. And I think you or Leilani told me like the wrong man at the wrong, or the right man at the wrong time is still the wrong man, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, I hurt for me. Like, I hurt for me.
But you know, this is so common. I know,
but it's one of those things I wish someone else could learn it through me by my mistake. But you know what? I'm gonna this year. I'm going to build the best programs. Whatever happens, and I'm going to do it again and again and again because I really do love these ones. But
it's so like I see this so often with marketing campaigns, not even just like building out products and stuff. This happens with marketing a lot. People, because they go, it didn't work. And so they just throw it out, as opposed to like, let's refine the target, or let's refine the creative, you know, and just see what can work. Or, and a lot of times too, I mean, you get bored with it. With marketing, specifically with marketing, you get bored with it. And it happens. I mean, it just is so common, but
I feel like I just want to shrivel, like
and we also get into like 2 things on this. I think we get into the mindset that we build it, they will
come. Oh, preach. Yeah. We need a moment of silence for that one.
Yeah. And we're comparing ourselves to our coaches who are many years ahead of us,
who have done it. And that's what I love about Shamika. She's always like, people, this is my 12th year. And then we have I would say like, there's a CFO that's on the calls that acts as one of our advisors. And she was like, it was 11 years till I made my first million. And I did that 2 years ago. And now I'm doing it. And that perspective, I don't know why, but for me, my experience in the world of entrepreneurship is all the marketing implies that it's overnight. And on the first try, the first click funnel, the first dick funnel, the first, yes, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, Ronnie came up with that, not me. And then you do it like the first challenge is supposed to be an epic success and 100,000 people. Oh my meow.
I mean, if you like our coach Shauna is actually very open about this when she talks about it was an event, not necessarily a program, but same kind of concept. And she did a shop walk, and the very first one, and I'm like, her and I are very good friends. And the very first one she had, nobody showed up, including me. And we were best friends.
Penance.
You know, so, but this is the thing. The next year she did it again. She tweaked stuff. She did it again. She had about 50 people. The next year she did it again. She tweaked some things. She had like 200 people. Like, we see the success of all of these coaches at their big points, you know, at the point where they finally have hit traction, right? But the traction takes a long time and iterations to even get there. I'm guilty of this too. Like, I've launched several programs and not a single person bought it. And then I'm like, screw it, I'm over it. And, you know, walk away. I mean, I'm just as guilty as anybody else, but
it hurts.
You know, but.
And the hours, that's also the hours we put into it. The curriculum, the pages, the build out, like the marketing plan. That was like, I mean, you might as well just literally go to the bank, get $1,000 cash, and just leave it in the parking lot and drive away. Like,
I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to confess right here, I am the queen of creating myself busy work.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that.
I mean, and with programs now, while I'm 100% like programs can be built and all those things, but like even you and I talked about it when you called the other day and you were like, Shamika said something, you know, I asked the question about like a sales page versus, you know, these different like website things. And it's that concept of, in our brains, we think we need that like 4-mile long sales page that's in that formula of call to action, buy button, social proof, like sales, blah, 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 right? And in actuality, I was like, I don't feel like we need that. Like, that's, to me, creating busy work for yourself, right? So it might not be the busy work. Throwing things on top of it, thinking that you need it, is.
I think also too, our entrepreneurial culture, our world culture, everything, like the programming around us is more is better.
Hustle,
not
hustle,
less
hustle.
is more. And gizmos and gadgets and plenty. And I think we go nuts. And you know what? I was so glad we had our conversation, because when I went to compare to the other landing pages that I was kind of looking at, like, how did they structure? What did they do? Like, just wording. Sometimes I don't want to think. I just want to like get it out. Yeah. I was definitely getting overwhelmed by like, oh my God, they have all of this and I don't have, well, girl, your day, the first round of this, of course not, like da, da, da. And also one thing I really love that Shamika has recently said is that, is everything that you're packaging in necessary for the results that you're offering? Because I think sometimes I think myself included, I feel like, oh, but I can give this, and they don't need all that yet. Like just baby bites, not like goose pate shoving it down them.
Well, and as the creator, we want to offer as much value as we can, and all of those things are valuable. As a customer, though, I can tell you, I don't want all that stuff because now I'm overwhelmed.
And I'm also looking at my client base, and, you know, one of them said something interesting. She was like, money isn't my problem. It's time. Like the faster you can turn around something for me, the better. Like I'm ready to pay for that. And I was like, oh, so interesting. And then I was like looking at the time footprint. And by what I mean by that is, how often are we meeting? How many, you know, calls. One of the things I really love right now with one of our coaches is just the fact that it's a replay based kind of thing. Like she goes live and teaches us, but the replay is available. So we can kind of watch when we need to, if something were to come up, or like, I'm sorry, but like, as Kat, I think she'll love me for saying this. I hope it's okay. It will be forever enshrined in the Mimosa hotline, but Kathleen Lansing has always taught me, you get paid, then you get laid. Like that is the mantra. Like that is how we work. And so it's like, you know, if you have a class, that's great. But if there's money on the table, you do your money first, and then you do your education, whatever else later. And so, yeah, I think the busy work though comes in a couple of things, because I'm in it right now. Comparisonitis of, you know, their 10 years of refinements and trying to incorporate all of that. 2, it comes from thinking you need more, not less, and that it's not valuable if you don't have more. And also, maybe a little uncertainty. You're not sure. So you're just going to do more because, well, if I have it, but what if I don't? And untrust of yourself and it being enough. And I think also too, I really want to talk about the busy work of the marketing side of things. I think there are people out there that get wild with their marketing, like demands.
And then complain about it.
Oh, yeah. Like,
I mean,
you need to tell people, like in my rule of thumb, it goes back to my mom was very old fashioned, and her rule was, it's not polite to not give someone more than 2 weeks notice. Or less than 2 weeks notice. So obviously my marketing always starts there 2 weeks out. Like, and I usually keep it simple. 30 days, I announce that it's happening. 2 weeks away, I say, hey, here's the invitation, save the date. Then the week before, I get real serious about like 5 days straight, the day before today we launch, whatever, keep the doors open for 1 or 2 days, because there's always that person. And then that's kind of it. And then I think my new plan is to have like a mid-program update, or like quarterly update, because these are going to be long, just kind of how things are going, to catch a few of the fish for maybe the next round, and then like a recap of it. But whoa, people, like this 3-5 posts a day, TikTok on wild, like that is a full-time job. Hence why you exist, and why not even you, but like the marketing managers, social media managers, all of the things. Watch yourself, people. Like you're going to put yourself out of business because you're marketing yourself.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to do all the things.
No,
you just got to find the
So
couple that work right.
How do you help your clients determine, like strategically determine what is right for them as far as like doing all of the things with marketing, what program they should run, and what their goals are, results and expectations are from that program?
I mean, it all comes down to who the target is. Like, who is your target client? Like, and we've got to understand who that person is, because that then drives the messaging and the platform. You know, because if your program is for women 55 plus, I'm going to put you on Facebook all day long. You know, if your program is for 22-year-olds coming out of college, you got to go over to TikTok. Like, knowing who your customer is, like, that's my base to start everything, is who is our target audience. And you might have different ones for different things, right? Like, you might have one program that's geared toward one target, or one program that's geared toward another. Like, I'm not saying you have to like niche yourself into this one specific person of sorts, but with each one, you really need to hone in on who is the person you're targeting, because that will then determines the message. Because one, you have to fix their pain point, whatever that might be, or their purpose, right? Like whatever their touch points are, and then decide where are their eyeballs so that I can get in front of them.
Absolutely. And it goes back to kind of like what we spoke about in our website episode, where I shared that when I'm writing the content on a website, I'm literally writing like dear client, and writing it to them. So it feels and sounds like as if I wrote it to them, because quite literally I just deleted dear whatever, dear reader, dear client, dear person, dear attendee, whatever. I think that really, it's so interesting, but it's so simple, but man, it changes the tone of the copy, you know? And I had a client this week, which I did a live on, go a little rogue-ish, with good intention, but she went a little rogue. She got excited and inspired. She had a conversation with a client about a program she was doing, and they realized that the terminology, like she said this, they referred to that as this, and she wanted to change it up. And then she was like, shouldn't I add keywords to my landing page and my website? And shouldn't I change all that up? And I was like, yeah. No, leave it alone. I need you over here. That's busy work. Well, yeah. And I gave her credit, because to know you need keywords. Good job. Yeah, no, that's awesome. To have the realization that, you know, the terminology of how your client speaks is a different dialect than how you speak. You get points this week.
Very important.
What's interesting is we are currently building out her intention for, I'm going to do a backwards funnel here, but YouTube, newsletter, and opt-in. And since she now has that, that's perfect information for the funnel, because the funnel is before they ever get to the website. So don't worry about the website, like figure out where you put the information. So I was just saying, like, when you get new inspiration, new information, you've engaged with your market, you're just experienced from doing your damn work. Decide, is this best applicable to before working with me, while working with me, or after working with me? Because that's going to tell you where it should or should not lie. Like, this influences people before they work with her. These are the keywords they want to hear. But once they have the know, like, and trust factor, they're on her website. Like, now they know they don't need that perfect thing. I mean, yes, but and I was just outing myself that I remember, I can hear Kathleen right now cheering for this. I was a tweaker. I just love to tweak. I would, I have a new idea, my website. And I drove Kathleen nuts because I never just went out and did the work. I was just tweaking. And I think it's hard because as a designer, I like to see my thought become reality, like just make the change, do it really fast. And to me, it's easy, but to others, that's an absolute waste of time.
Well, and I guess at that point, then I go, is that a revenue generating task? Right? I mean, like, as a business owner, as we're working in our day, we need to think about, are the things that I'm doing a revenue generating task? Because if it's not, it can either one, go away, or wait.
Go away.
I mean, I probably just
I don't
made
know
you
why.
do
I
it.
just got this like image of you, double hand ping pong paddles. Go away. You can stay. Go away. You can stay. Like, I don't know why. I just
Well, and so
Okay.
like when it comes to busy work like that, and programs can be
Absolutely.
a lot of busy work, right? Like you can easily get yourself stuck into the busy workness of
Yeah.
it.
But also set a timeline for yourself. Like I gave
Yeah.
myself, 3 days to get this done.
Well, and I tend to, and I do this even in my everyday tasks. If I have something on my to-do list and I have pushed it for more than like 3 weeks, then it doesn't need to be done.
Yeah, I know. Oy. The rollover. Yeah, my
Right.
rollover list. Ooh, get to it. Needs to be done. Yeah. And another way I like to look at this is it a need to have or a nice to have?
Right.
And that's always helpful for me. I know
Yeah.
for me right now, it's an interesting thing. I was actually thinking about this. This is funny. I'm going to out myself. I was thinking last night, I was like, oh, is this busy work? But like, I don't know. And I'm in such a unique position right now because I'm in this transition of a move, right? Like, what are we, 40 days left or something? So I literally have, this is fun. Who cares? 1, 2,
A
3,
little over a month.
5 Saturdays left,
I was
6
gonna say 5
Saturdays.
weeks.
I think, no, 5 Saturdays left in this town. And so for me, do I want clients? Am I accepting clients? Absolutely. But when I am, I'm also giving them like, hey, I'm going to be moving soon. Like just heads up, there's going to be like a 2-week period that's a little funky, but we'll get back into routine. But for me, and I'm not manifesting this. So universe, just hear the full sentence before you do this to me. I also don't really want clients right now. Like I just kind of want to get to Chicago, get settled in, and then I'll start up again. But I'm looking at what I'm doing as, since I have this weird lull right now, it's a perfect time to build out my programs because it creates cash flow the second I get there. So while it's not now, it's a yes setup for me.
Right.
So it's not getting in. And, one thing I've also been really thinking of is momentum. One of the coaches was saying, like, don't launch a course when you need cash, launch it when you have momentum, and it just helps carry that. Cause it's always harder to it takes more fuel for the plane to take off than to maintain flight.
Well, and I think to get in the little like mindset piece of that too, if you're creating a program to create cash, you are approaching it from a scarcity perspective, not an abundance perspective. And anytime you do anything in your business from a scarcity lack point of view, it's not going to work as well. You seem desperate. So it's in the same vein as what you just said.
Absolutely. And like, who's the me behind the creation of this? Is the me behind it scared and needs cash and oh my God, or is the me behind it like, I've been having fun? So like the first thing that came out about them, I noticed that I'm not going to out them yet, but I had like one that was a community. I had them labeled community, group program. And then I was looking at it and I was like, community group program challenge. And then I was like, C's, we need all C's. And that's where I realized that it was like, oh, this one's a community. This one's all about mindset and consciousness. And this one is a challenge based. Oh, interesting. And then like, I'm having so much fun because I want to take these damn classes. Like they're so cool. I'm like, why doesn't anybody do this? And so for me, it's more about like, I'm just excited to lead them. I'm excited for the experience of them. I'm also thinking about how it's really going to help my client, who you said is the number one thing is, I have about like, I draw faces. They're not very cute, but it's just like, hold on, like this, just like a face. And then I put the name of the person. So this one, I actually have like kind of, let's just say 3 people for each one that I'm literally like, I think about them and I'm like, okay, here's what that person needs. And maybe it starts with those 3 people, but eventually there is more of those people that will resonate with that. So it's been fun just being like, okay, this month we're going to be doing this. That month we're doing this. And if both, like, I am excited. I was going to say concerned, but I have a feeling, let me put it this way. I have a feeling people are going to sign up for multiple because they overlap in a cool way, but are also different enough that it's like, if you're doing this one, it's not the vibe of this one. And they may want both. So I'm having fun too, that it's not so same that like, if you're in both, you're like, but that's like, it's just more of the same. It's very different. So that's been fun. But I will say on the community-based one right now, I need to I need to pull back hard because right now I have a destination retreat every quarter. I can't sustain that. What the freak am I doing? Like,
I mean, it'd be fun.
I mean, oh my God, we're going to work our way up. We're going to work our way up. So I'm planning the ultimate thing, but I think for year one, we're just going to do one, like one in the year. We'll do one to kind of test the model of it. Yeah, maybe one or two, because there's a difference between destination retreat and virtual retreat. So I'd like to test the model on both, but I got to be realistic with myself because I'm still going to have all my client work. I still have all my, you know, maintaining my business and everything. But yeah, right now I was like, oh my God, that's too much. Someday when I have Iconic Details concierge who will help me run all of this, it'll be doable. But right now, you remember how we talk about the superhuman ambition with only the human capacity?
Yeah.
Well, I have my wings on this week.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
But yeah. But I also think it's good to think big picture. You never know what you're capable of. So
100%.
Don't play small with it. And I also throw something out there with the uncertainty thing. I got to be honest, my universe has been reflecting back that I am playing way too small. It is like funny. If I start thinking small or playing small right now, it just basically gets up and leaves. Like, it's just not here. Like, everything stalls up, everything stops, everything just, and then I'm like, oh, well, how about this? And then sure enough, it comes back in, all things flow again. I'm like, oh, when I was little, my dad used to take the hose in the garden and he would just like kink it, you know, and the water would stop. I feel like the universe just sits on my couch and is like, kink. Okay. Oh, you want to think like that? No, you're fine. Bigger. Like, really? It's like,
I feel that. I feel that a lot.
I think you've also seen it happen, like even with the move, you know, like that was crazy for people that don't know this. Like, I had a lease that's ending in January. So yes, there's a lease break fee and I was trying to be responsible and we would have missed the opportunity. Everything stalled up. I couldn't get a date. I couldn't get a client. I couldn't get food. Like nothing was going in my life. Then Ronnie's like, why are you waiting? Thank you for that, by the way. And I was like, I don't know. And then whoosh, the flow started and I was like,
yeah, I mean,
so rude.
I mean, it's kind of even like with me looking at some of these businesses that investing in, you know, we were talking about one that I'm like, it's a client of mine that's looking to get out and exit and sale. And then, you know, we looked at it for a couple of months and the numbers didn't work. And it was universe saying you're playing too small because it's a $100,000 company instead of $1 million company. And within an hour, a $2 million company comes along. You know, I mean, yes, that kind of, granted, I mean, we're still in uncertainty with all of it, you know, we still just don't know, but yeah, I mean, it kind of like clogs things up when you're playing small and kind of is like, I'm like, oh, I was so excited about that. But then all of a sudden it just kind of goes away and you're like, fuck. But
I love the silent S. Just
but then it like comes back around. I mean, it's and
better. That's the weirdest
better.
thing. You know, that's where I'm a clutcher. I clutch. I want it. I want my thing. Like, I think I definitely have part pit bull in me, like for sure. I lockjaw on things. Like, I want what I want. I want it hard. Like, I am not, would the word be passive? Like, I'm not, light on things. I would say I'm all or nothing. Like, it's not black and white. It's just, I am all in or I don't care. Or I am totally committed or I'm not. Like, and my done switch is interesting too. Like, it takes a lot, like I will give you more chances than the sane human should, but man, when I'm done, it is done.
Yeah. We're similar in that way.
Yeah.
You're more active and I tend to be more passive. So like I notice with you, well, like when you get something in your head, you like start working on it, right?
Yeah.
Like you kind of go for it and you're very active in working on it. Where I tend to be like, I have something in my head and I'm just gonna let it flow in like a very passive way of like, I'm
I
gonna
think
do
you're a
things.
processor. I don't like the word
Oh, I'm
passive
very,
for you because I think that I don't
oh,
like
I'm
that
very
for you.
much a processor.
I want to say a
But
processor. I don't like that other word.
I tend to like, I mean, people ask me this a lot of times, particularly around the first of the year, because everybody wants to do their goals for the year, blah, blah, blah. And I don't set goals. I don't set resolutions. I don't set goals. I sometimes might go, I want to make more money this year, but I don't put a number on. I'm not in control of the outcome. I'm only in control of what I put into it. So I tend to
I like that.
yeah, I tend to be sort of passive with I process or passive with things, and I let them come to me as opposed to working like you work towards things. And that's just how we're different. Like there's nothing
But I
wrong
like that
with
too.
that.
And I think there's seasons of it. I think there's
Oh yeah,
seasons where you
I agree.
process and you pull, and then there's seasons where you act and you push. And I think,
Yeah, I've been in
right
that too.
now, I have just had, I don't know, this stupid, it's not stupid, but I'm going to be honest, this calling, I feel like a Looney Tune when I say that, but if I had another word, I would explain it. Like, I don't know, there's just something in me that, it really reminds me of like when I first started my business and I got the vision of it. And I know all of my clients have this. I'm sure you have this, but it's like the day we all know, it's like a bad breakup or something. It's like ingrained in our memory. The day you got the idea, the day you decided to start it, the day you were like, I'm doing this. Like we all know that day, right? I don't know how to explain. It was like, I know it was at that retreat. We did the journal prompt. And I had told you before that too, that I had the move vibes. I knew the move vibes, but on the day of the retreat, when we wrote, what in your life is no longer serving you that at one point did, but no longer is. And I wrote, it's time to move out of state. It was like that moment, like, it just gave me goosebumps. It was different than a normal thought or a desire. It was like divine direction is what I'm going to say. And I know that's intense, but that's what I mean. And it's like, anytime I step away from it, it's like, it doesn't like that. It's really like, let's go. Like it has a mission. It has like a force to it. And it's motivating me right now because everything I'm doing, I lose track of time in a good way. Like, when you're doing something and you look up and it's been like 4 hours, but you thought it's been 20, that's how I'm feeling right now. But I've also, you've seen it, been depressed out of my mind, stagnant on the couch, can't do shit, don't want to do shit. And so I'm trying to leverage it while I have it because it's going to flow, ebb and flow.
Yeah.
That's how this works. But what is it when Shauna says high vibe means quick to act and low vibe is quick to reflect? I think it's two parts. It's like,
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. Anything that's high vibe and it feels high energy and it feels good, that's when you don't think you act. And then when it's low vibe and it's like, I don't know, there's just doubts and all that, that's when you reflect and you're slow to act. That's what it was. And it makes sense, but damn, when you're in it, you get scarcity mindset and you get scrappy and you start doing all this shit that's, as we just said, not going to create results because you're the wrong version of you behind it.
Well, and talking about busy work of that being scrappy and busy work, I'm not even sure if you probably know this story, but like 6 years ago, I was kind of scrappy, doing a lot of busy work, trying to like make things happen, right? Like just make it happen. And I got a migraine. I get migraines quite frequently. And I got a migraine and it lasted like 45 days, which was weird. And I just like, I pulled something in my neck or something, one of those kinds of things. And on a Friday evening, I was out of town for work with a client. And I went to dinner with a friend. The next morning I went to the office and I felt like I had food poisoning. I was like, I was sick and I don't like get sick. And by that evening, I was like, I can't get back to Charleston. Like, I have to stay here. And went to a doc in a box, like a emergency doctor kind of thing.
Like a doc in a box. What's that? I like this. Okay.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Like an urgent care or something?
Urgent care. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was looking for. And the doctor there said to me, I think you have food poisoning, but I'm not going to rule out appendicitis. Like, I think you need to go to the ER. And as she was saying it, like, the pain like went through the roof. And I was like, I need you to call me an ambulance, and I need you to call it right now. Yeah. And so she did. And they took me to the ER. I was in Chapel Hill, and they took me to the ER, and I laid in bed for 3 days trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And finally we ran a whole bunch of tests. It's a whole big story. And finally on like that Monday morning, they were like, this is appendix. We need to go in the OR right now. And so at that point, I had already been there for 3 days. It had already ruptured. So I was already, my whole body was like poisoned. But long story short, I ended up in the hospital for 14 days. I mean, sick as a dog, like solidly 14 days. And because of that, I mean, I had built this business where I was busy, like really busy. And I had to cancel every single meeting for 2 full weeks. I had to like take every single thing off of my to-do list. Every single project stopped completely for 2 weeks. I made the same amount of money that month as I did the month before, being busy as hell.
Wow.
And so the point of that story is, when you're like thinking about busy work like that, you're creating it, but is it really like necessary generating money? And I find my moments where I've created myself a bunch of busy work, but since then I rarely do it.
Yeah.
Because, and not that I think that doing that caused all of that. I mean, my appendix like just ruptured, like these things happen, right? Like,
yeah, but your body is a sign of your mind. So
yeah, it is. But yes, I'm not going to argue with that either. But still, I don't know that it caused it.
Sure.
I don't know, whatever. But I think it was a way to go, hey, by the way, you don't need to be doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't need it.
Well, and that's kind of the kink in the hose, right? Like,
right.
We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a dramatic story and I've talked to a lot of people that build these businesses, make themselves so busy. They're working, entrepreneurs are famous for this, like, because they're so passionate about what they do and they love what they do. We love what we do, that all of a sudden we have an 80-hour work week. And I've known many entrepreneurs end up in the hospital.
Oh yeah,
from
absolutely.
Stress and burnout, and like thinking that they're really sick, when in actuality they've just worked themselves to death.
Yeah. I know.
And it's a hard lesson to learn in busy work of, you don't really need to do all those things.
No. It's also, because I struggle with these 2 words, trust and faith.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, and your other one's patience, but
yeah. Yeah, I don't do well with that word either.
No. We're working on that.
I know. I'm still working on all of this. And I think it's just my life. I will work on this, and I'm excited. I had a really cool breakthrough with my therapist, actually, which is awesome. And it kind of gave me reason to why all this is. But yeah. I'm like, sorry, can of worms. Do we open? Do we not? Like, we're just gonna, nah. Here's my thing. Okay, so I know, I'll just say it really fast because it's easy. Narcissism and gaslighting is the root cause of why those 3 are an issue for me. Mm-hmm. So I get to relearn them, basically. I don't have a problem with them. I just was misinformed their actual truth in reality. So like, now I'm learning that they're actually good things. But anyways, so with those, for me, I think it's even I feel like it's an entrepreneurial thing, but maybe it's a me thing. I'll just out myself on this.
Mhm.
I have lost all three for myself: patience for myself, trust for myself, and faith in myself because of this false programming. And I would love to do like a factory reset on my subconscious and my brain, because it just needs to be wiped straight clean, bleached. I'm talking like I need the cleanup crew to come and like just deck this shit. But the awareness now is the best thing that I have, because now when I see myself in these patterns, which I hope others can just reflect, that's why what we're saying is, you know, when you find yourself in busy work, when you find yourself scrapping, when you find yourself like desperado, to just pause and be like, which one of these is coming up? I want to show you something. So I did a little graphic for myself the other day, because I just think it's funny, but at the same time, it's like, so what I personally need. And let's see, I always miss this here. This is how we do it. Okay, here it is. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see like the gargoyle here and the dog walker and all this stuff?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it actually says, the gargoyle is saying up here, it says heal. And then this is like the dog walker. And in my mind, all of the limiting beliefs, you know, patience and control and proving and all these things that I have in patience and truth are like gargoyles being dog walked. And sometimes everybody's moving along and we're doing just fine. Sometimes somebody gets off a leash and is over there. We got to get them and pull them back. And it has given me such a playful way of looking at my mind. The shadow work that we can get into, and the therapy rounds and the coaching and the yada, yada. This is kind of fun. It's more like, hey, I got a gargoyle on the loose. Come here, heal. And then it's like, heal is also symbolic of like, you got to heal those parts and not work against them and fight them. Just be like, gargoyle on the loose. Okay, put it on the leash and reset and, you know, rock yourself in a new way. And I think, to me, you know, entrepreneurship, year 1, year 2, you're scrappy because you don't have a clue. But now we have the discernment that we now have more trust and faith and all of the things. And it goes back to what we were talking about with the programs, you know, throwing out the baby with the bathwater instead of trusting the process of repetitive attempts or tries, you know? And so it all goes back to that. The programs that we discussed, you know, figuring out this strategy from the guru of you says that focus first on the person or the client, then decide the messaging and the platform, then build it out based on the life you want to live, producing that evergreen, pre-recorded monthly calls, lives, however you want to frame that, and be inspired by your own work. Then it goes into the experience of like curating an experience, as I said, with like the heads of your people and being like, okay, they're going to want this, they're going to want that. And then taming that superhuman ambition with your human capacity and being like, okay, this is great, but what's realistic in round 1 that I can actually do? Okay, great. And then uncertainty, ladies and gentlemen, you're never going to
live with it. Yep.
If you know, you're probably clutching. So let go. And as Shamika says, let the magic in. Let there be room. As Shauna says in her most recent one, you should know 51% of the time what's going on, and the rest of the time you shouldn't have a clue, because that again is searching to not miss anything versus seeing the one thing that would be good for you. And the busy work is just, you know, what are our paddles? Keep away. You can stay. Like, is it making you money? Slap it back. If it's not, slap it down. Like, just, like, be realistic with yourself and see. And I think we all do know. I don't know how we would all do this, but have a time to create, you know, on your calendar, like if you want to time block this, whatever. But I think it is safe. I know something I've been doing is like at the end of the day, I will brain dump everything that's just in my mind and I email it to myself. And the next day I look at it and I'm like, what was just Ashley, go to bed? And what was like a thing that's like, I actually need that or something. And that's been kind of fun because it delays it. You know, I have to like,
you can process it.
And be like, okay, that was a nice to have, not a need to have. And then I kind of sort it, nice to have, need to have, profit, not.
Yeah. Well, and I too, I mean, I think, you know, earlier when you said we're all in different seasons kind of really hit me of, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Like I'm in a season of not actively working on things like this, right? Like it's 2 years ago I was, and now I'm not. And I'm not to say like my stalker idea is a brilliant idea and I'm going to bring it back around one day. It's just not going to happen now because it's not what I want. But I think that's something to really even think about. Like we get in, and Shauna does talk, and we're talking a lot about Shauna today, because I guess that program, I guess because it starts next week, but
yeah, and I did all my pre-work for it. So I did all my
but I forgot where I was going with that.
Okay, so you were in seasons, and that right now,
now I remember. Yes, sorry, now I remember. She talks a lot about, particularly in her podcast, like having this idea of what she wanted to do in her business when she started it, and then getting into a season of like she didn't want to do that anymore and something else, but she said that she would, and she publicly said that she would, so she felt like she had to. And so it was always this struggle against the business and what she really wanted to do, and not embracing that it's okay to change your mind.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'd struggle with that too. You publicly say, I'm doing this thing, and then 6 months later, I'm like, I don't really want to do that thing anymore. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to be in different seasons. And I think that catches us up a lot. I think with people, because she
broke it down too. She was like saying the denial of your own desires. Like at one point you really wanted it, which is exactly what you're saying right now. At one point you really wanted it, but then you realize halfway through it just no longer is in alignment. I love what she talks about too, where you kind of vet some, or like you categorize all of your dreams as like, is it fully aligned, semi-aligned, or unaligned with me today? And you check in with yourself. And I just want to say, like, one of the programs I'm doing is that every 90 days there's a thing, because you're a different you. In my world, with the people I hang out with, we are completely different humans in every 90 days. So to plan a year and expect you're going to end up at those goals and not change and still be at trajectory, no way. It's just not fair. You're setting yourself up for failure. So I know I run my business off the 12-week year. So that's a book if anyone wants to look into it, but it's basically 90-day planning or quarterly planning, but you only focus on 3 months at a time. That's it. Not before that, not after that, just 3 months at a time, because damn, I'm a different human when I do this. And then she also talked about how like desires being what society wants, or what the entrepreneurial success is. You know, is your success with your business really flying private jets and having a, you know, swimming in money, or, you know, Rolls Royce and whatever it is? Maybe not. Maybe maybe it's being able to fly to your girlfriend's every quarter.
Yeah.
No, like define it for you. And then there was a third one that I'm spacing right now, but it was just, like it's okay to change your mind. I think actually that was the third one. I think it's okay to change your mind was the third one. But like, oh my gosh, that's such a good point. And, you know, but again, my pit bull is, but I have to see it through. And I know even for myself, my parents taught me commitment with choir. Oh my God, I can't sing a freaking tune, but because I joined choir, I had to sing through the year because I made a commitment, and they made me do it with band too. I freaking hated band. So I just kept changing instruments so that I was in the learning phase and I didn't actually have to play. It was so awesome. So I played a lot of things, but, you know, and it's like that. I think there's something to commitment, and then there's something to just like
flow.
Yeah. You gotta be real with yourself and check in. And I think sometimes too, when we get scrappy, that's that low vibe energy that it's like, hey, your goals have changed. You've changed. Like rework yourself, sit down, have a plan, and like, what really makes sense today.
Use that, like that scrappy. If you find yourself in the scrappy kind of mindset mode, I think it's a good time for people to sit down and reevaluate and go, particularly during a Mercury retrograde when you have to everything. But if you find yourself in that, oh, I'm being scrappy right now, you might need to check in.
Yeah. And don't judge yourself without judgment. Be like, you know, one of the things I always thought was funny, I think it was, I wanted a podcast. Like at one point, you know, this is like probably 3 or 4 years ago. It was like, I wanted a masterclass and a podcast and a course, then a challenge, then low, medium, high barrier to entry. Like it was a business model that I wanted. I don't even listen to podcasts, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm probably the last person on the planet that doesn't, but I
No,
don't
but
even listen to them. And it was on my like must-have list. The fuck? Oh my God. And
it's
then
it's because like the entrepreneurial society tells you that's what success is.
I swear, if I could give us all like sound canceling earmuffs and you could just be left alone by yourself. You know, I was watching this Red Table Talk, just did it. I posted it on my page. And if you want to see my moment with it, it was about gaslighting. And they were saying when women come out of gaslighting relationships, they make them for a year, absolute no, it's like almost no contact with any type of relationship, family, friends, anything. They must be on their own to relearn who they are and what they want. I can speak to this, like after my situation, family, not guys, so don't go there, people, but family, I swear, like I had to check in. Do I really like Cherries Garcia, or is that my mom's favorite ice cream? What is mine? What is mine? It is the most mind fucking fuckery. It's like, oh, it's so weird. It is so weird. And I feel like us entrepreneurs need that too. Like an honest to God cleanse of the palate. What do you actually taste? What do you like? Not what does the rest of the table want to buy? If everybody's buying a bottle of red, but oh my God, this pisses me off. I'll be honest. Every time, sometimes the whole table wants a bottle of red and I want a Chardonnay. I'll order my goddamn Chardonnay. But for years, I have said I'll take a glass of the red. It's so annoying. Like, it's okay to take up space. It's okay to have a different opinion. It's okay to be you. Like, oh my, now I'm going to go on a whole tangent, but.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, just kind of like the societal pressure of what success is and what we should be doing and all the shoulds we should be doing.
I think the only should that we should have is be responsible. If your whole income is based on this business, make it profitable. If you've got other ways and it's not, do it however the fuck you want. Like, yeah. But like that is the only should that we need on the table. The rest, do it your way. And that's the biggest thing I see as a brand strategist. The more you are with how you do everything in your business, the more iconic you are.
Yeah.
That's it. That is the secret.
Those are the people you remember.
Absolutely. The people I work, well, actually I don't work with them because my people are just iconic, but you know, I couldn't work with somebody that has a Me Too business. Like, oh, I want everything they have, or I want what they're doing, or I want that. Like, I'm not going to work with you. Like, you have nothing. I'm putting a duck in front of a megaphone. Quack, 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 quack.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we're shoved down with all of these huge dick funnels that like, they hook us, man. They hook us easily.
So sparkly and shiny.
Exactly. You know, and it's the same shit. And it's going, that's going to pull it into a tactical thing, but it goes into, you know, all of these coaches that have these huge dick funnels and have this big presence and like these huge communities and stuff. And they're like, I made a 7-figure launch. Well, sure, you made $1 million, but you spent 900,000 of that in ad space.
Preach. Yes.
Like, let's be honest here. Like, give me the reality of this. You're hooking me on. You too can have a 7-figure launch. Hell yeah, I want a 7-figure launch. My first time out. Of course I do. You didn't tell me you spent $900,000 in Facebook ads.
And I'm really struggling. Here's an honest to God moral struggle I have is I want to be quality, not quantity. I want to be not luxury. Like that sounds kind of like yachty. I don't mean yachty, but I mean like high end, insane hands-on, amazing experience. Just like there's a difference between Ghirardelli chocolate and Hershey. Like there just is. Okay.
I mean,
but I also really love Hershey, so I should use something else. But like, and now I can't even say a bad one because like a Hershey's still good. Hershey Devil. Okay, I need a different example, but like,
But we talked about this even last week with pricing is perception.
exactly. It's just like,
You
I
know?
want to be that. And like, I see these people with the masses and they stand like, I actually don't want to stand in front of an audience that I can't see the back of. I don't really
Yeah.
want that. Like, I, in a room of 50 that I can like really kind of have like a moment with each of you. Absolutely. Circle up, little fireside chat kind of deal or something like that. Absolutely. But I don't want to do the big stuff. And my courses too, like when we did it, that was a fun first round of like, let's try this thing, right? Like,
yeah, no, it was nice. It was
interesting.
great.
It was so good, but it was
so
too
good.
much. But like, it was a great moment. It was a great moment. Anyway,
Yeah, it was.
I can't say it was bad. It was like a good bad. Does that make sense? Like, it was so good. But anyways, that's kind of the thing. Like, I know it'll work and I can do it. I just I don't want to make that into all the things, and you remember when TED Talks were like the shit, like everyone aspired to have a TED Talk, everyone aspired to have what is the click funnel thing? They get that plaque where it's like the platinum level, whatever thing, and the circle record thing. Guys, come on.
Yeah.
The amount you pay just to go to that conference, let alone set up all of that services, you could have bought yourself a down payment on a house. Okay, so I'm in the housing market right now, just so everyone knows I'm manifesting too. They are going to be amazing. And I was just told that the market is switching over to be a buyer's market pretty soon. So I was like, anyways, I am manifesting this. You heard it here today, September 22nd, 2022, 22222. Anywho, I look at what I have paid in coaching and how many houses that could have translated to.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I'm currently nauseous. Like, and the other day, was it you? We were talking about this. If we have like gold plated brains, that like how much like,
no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Yeah, there must have been like Ronii or something or somebody. We were talking about like, okay, how like you can't see our wealth, but if you could see our brains, it's like gold plated. That's how much we've invested in our minds. Like people might buy a car or something else. We don't necessarily have the fit. Oh, but my brain is, I know I have $1 million brain. My brain is definitely worth $1 million. So
yeah,
absolutely. Like the brain transplant of this lucky person.
Yeah.
Organ donor. That's why I say that. But it's like crazy. And so I think, just, find, maybe because this is my personal journey, so tell me to shut up, but you got to find you. And I think we all think we know who we are, but do you really? Like the unfiltered version?
Yeah.
Like when you catch yourself before you say something, or you're like, oh, my favorite is this. Is it really? Like, just have fun with it. Like, check in.
Yeah. Well, and too, I think too, the other end of that, which we've already hit on, is don't get locked into who you are today.
Yeah.
Because you will, I might be a different person tomorrow.
Yes.
I mean,
leave space for it.
I'm a different person than I was a year ago. I do every year on my birthday, I do a solar return reading with an astrologer, and every single year, the one thing she always says to me, and I can go back to all the recordings, and she says it every year, but every year she's right. You will be a different person next year.
Mm-hmm. And like, thank God.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the past me's.
Yeah. She was like, here, we'll talk about like, what are the themes that are coming up for the year for you based on the astrology, blah, blah, blah. And we kind of dive into those things. And then at the end of every one of them, she's like, next year, when we do this, you won't be the same person because of the things you're going to go through in this coming year.
Yeah. And so like 1 year I'd want to repeat, but because of like how I was as an athlete, but other than that, no, thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the other end of that is, yes, check in with yourself and ask yourself, is this really who I am? Yeah. But then also be open to that in 6 months, that could be different.
Yeah. And I think maybe sometimes that I consider myself to be like a phoenix. Like I burn down. And then I kind of rise back up slowly. Like, you know, just the I am happy to burn it down. Like I am, you know, that came from, I don't know where it came from, but I remember the first time was when I had cervical cancer. I was 25 and getting the diagnosis and thinking they were joking. I went to DSW because what else do? You shop for shoes when shit hits the fan, duh. So I'm there and they're like, ma'am, we need you to come back to the office. This isn't like a quota that we hit. Like you have this cancer. And I was like, so stilettos are flat. So like, what should we do? It just was so out of my mind. But it caused me to do what I call the cancer cleanse, where when you get life altering, your appendicitis, my cancer thing, like anything that's life altering, a death, a birth, whatever it is, you just kind of get this blank slate where you're like, cats, we'll keep you. Apartment, no. Bing. And then this, and you slowly do like what in Al-Anon they say is an inventory of your life. Just check in with literally everything. And what has changed my life this last year is, are you living by default or design? And default it was a lot of default. So now I am crazy enough to move across the country and design a life for myself, but man, it feels good. And I don't think it was too late. I think it was divine time when I heard it, because maybe had I heard it earlier, I wouldn't have been ready. But I love what you're saying about just be open to being a different you. And I hope even with like the way our society is and like marriages and businesses and jobs, that we always leave flexibility for it, that it's not impossible to evolve in the life that you're living. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, for you, I think you tend to burn things down probably more often than anybody else I know.
I am like always with a match.
Whereas I, on the other end of that, like stay in things way too long. Yeah.
These
Don't
are the
do
reasons
it.
though, you know, like I
Enough.
again, remember my done switch is way longer than it should be, but man, when it's done, it's like, I'm nuking shit. Like I'm not like, okay, like let's part ways. That was another lesson I learned is, find your calm done, not your angry done.
Oh, I'm a calm done person. Yeah.
I'm an angry done. You got me to this point, and now I've got to learn my calm done. So, well, actually, I know it now because I'm mindful of it, but I've definitely, I was a prolonger. I let shit go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a prolonger too, but I've always been a pretty calm done. My mom has always joked. She's like, you're just like your dad. You'll take a lot, but when you're done, like they don't even know you're done. You just walk away and you never see anybody again.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, so that is me too, absolutely. So I ghost. I'm definitely queen of ghosting.
I'm a ghoster,
Leilani is the one that has made me actually like send messages and dump people because I just don't. I'm like, you should know, like if I'm not messaging you, duh. Like,
right. Exactly.
If I'm an everyday girl and then all of a sudden, whew, what do you think happened? Like
exactly.
Anyways, I like you on that element too. Like that's us. But no, I mean, calm down and angry done is like, you know, when you get the first few red flags or like, you know, it's not right. Like actually saying like, hey, this isn't going to work out versus letting it go till you're pissed about it.
Right.
And then being so angry that you're done with it. And I think I have definitely been on the angry done of things, but now
I have done that in jobs.
Exactly.
In jobs that I've had and that like I was actually an employee, I have done it, which I'm the worst employee. Like, do not hire me as an employee. I'm the worst employee ever. But I've also done it with clients.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I have to, but that's how we learn too. Like that is I'm sorry, but is it not year 2 and 3 that you learn scope creep?
Yeah, that's probably right at 2 to 3 is really when you let that happen.
You gotta breathe through that shit. Like,
yeah, you definitely need a script when it comes to that. Like, come year 2, go find you a good scope creep script because
la.
well, and
And now I'm almost evil about it just because I've been taken so far into scope creep that now it's just like I can, yeah. You know where I learned the best script for scope creep was watching the home renovation shows. When they find the mold, they're like, oh, we're really sorry to inform you, but there's mold in the attic and this is going to add an additional such and such to the budget. It is by law required, but did you want to move forward? They give the homeowner that like option that's not an option. And now I've used that in my business. Like, hey, we found like, I'd love to do this project for you. It's going to be an additional this and this. So additional this to the budget and additional this to the timeline. Would you like to proceed with that? And get that shit in writing? Did
Contract.
you hear me? Writing.
Everything. Yep. Statement of work. Signed.
And then move forward or not.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, this is not exactly the same thing, but I did a proposal yesterday for an ISO 9001 training, which is not sexy at all, but
I was like, oh.
Okay, I know it's not sexy at all, but I sent over the proposal, very straightforward. Like, we have a formula on how to do this. Every student's $2,000. You can get a discount for this, this, and this. More students you get, the bigger discount, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a spreadsheet. Cool. There's like no question about it, right? Like there is no like decision in this of this is the spreadsheet, this is the cost. And I sent over the proposal. I mean, within 10 minutes, he replies back and is like, I have another vendor that has quoted us for up to 8 students with travel included for less than $10,000. Can you move on price? And while my partner is like, oh, I can stay with friends if I need to. And I was like, no. We are not going to be the company that competes on price. It's quality over quantity. So,
and absolutely, you can go out and search for someone cheaper. Absolutely waste your time on that.
Well, and this is the thing. And that what I told my business partner about it too, was if their qualifier is price and budget is that big of a deal, they're not a good fit for us.
Absolutely. I'm meeting someone literally next after this call, and her mantra is, if you find someone cheaper, great, go pay them. Then let me know how much it was, because it'll be double that when you hire me. Then I have to fix it.
Exactly, because I have to fix it.
And okay, I'm so jealous though. She's year 1 and knows that. Rude.
No, that's
rude.
Awesome.
I was like, and she taught me that. I was like, oh, that's good. So if they say, I'm going to move forward with so-and-so, I found it at a cheaper rate, great, then you double that. And that's what it is to do it, because you have to fix it. I was like, shut up. Yes. Yep. No, I'm not going to do that. I would charge my rate and do it again and fix it. But I was like, that's good, because it is like, I feel that way sometimes doing my work, because, you've gone to someone cheap, they screwed it up. Now you're tainted. Now you have PTSD. Now I have to teach you the world is safe, that there are good people out there, that I know what I'm doing, and then do my work twice because I got to fix the shit they did. And then, or as you and I both said on websites, just delete the damn thing and start fresh. And it's like, I'd rather do that.
Yeah. Well, and I think for me and my business and how I want my brand and my experience to be is, if you are somebody that is price driven, like my client persona is not price driven. If you are, you're not my client. And like, that's an easy qualifier when you're talking to people. I mean, right away if they're price people, if they're Walmart people, right away.
And that's, though, again, offense and defense. If it's a price person, great, then have things for them that can serve them, or have something to help them for where they're at. Like, I use my now, next, later plan. Like, hey, if you're not ready for me, here's at least the roadmap you need, so that when you go out there and you shop all these cheap vendors, at least I know you're going to get the right base. And when you do make the money and you are ready to come back to me, then I can work off that and build that, not have to completely rebuild the thing. So yeah, absolutely. So we've done it again, 90 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen. And
I think we should just be upfront and be like, this is a 90-minute call.
This is a long show. Like, I get it. I know. My somebody the other day messaged me something, and they were like, I need to find, that's a great video you shared, but I need to find a different one that's less than 10 minutes because the attention span. And I was like,
I mean, I tend to be that way too with things.
I've been actively listening this entire time, Ronnie. So I don't know what they're talking about.
as a viewer, I have also done that myself where I'm like, I just did it this week of like, I was watching a video of like a conference talk and I found myself putting it on double speed.
Yeah.
So that I could get, so I could get through it quicker. And then I found myself like doing the like skip 30 seconds. Get what they're saying, skip 30 seconds. Actually, to be honest, I do that when I go back and review these and you watch
really?
notes.
Oh my gosh, that's so
I
funny.
do it. Well, part of it is I try and do it like fairly quickly. So a lot of it's still in my brain. So if I do skip, I'm kind of like, I know what we're talking about because I remember.
That's so interesting. I do because I black out. I don't know what I say. And then I go back and I was like, oh, that was good, Ashley. Yeah.
I mean, I have those moments too, but I definitely do it on double speed.
That's awesome. No, I think it's good. And you know what? We are just setting the tone of how we work. If you don't like it, great, not your show. Bye.
I mean, yeah.
Or also show notes. That's what I'm loving too. We do give people options of like, hey, if you want to skip ahead, skip ahead. If you want to be with us, be with us. And if show notes are the way to like get to the points that you want to learn about, then get to the points.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they watch us on Netflix, it's going to have to be at least an hour show anyway. So.
Oh my God. I can't.
I mean, we're already like, I already said that when, not an if.
Oh, I know. I didn't deny it. I was just like, and I said, I can't wait. I know. Oh my gosh. It's going to be a hot show, but you know, Miss Ronnie, at that point, I'm going to pull out something that I shouldn't, but we're going to have to work together at that point. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to out this. I have tried to recruit Ronnie so many times to be my business partner. It's like rude. It's just rude at this point. So any chance I get, I'm like, are we doing it yet? Are we doing it yet? Because it is the perfect fit. And I'm just like, whatever. I got her to be my bookkeeper though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the baby step.
I'm excited about it. Yeah.
So anyways, we'll let you go, people. Sorry, we
Yes.
had fun. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your patience. Show notes will be coming after the show shortly for you. 2 ways to watch the show. You can watch it live on the replay. I guess there's 4 ways: on Facebook, on YouTube, and let us know what questions you have. Also, next week we have a guest.
Well, yeah, that's right. We do.
It'll be really fun. So join us as we have a hot seater bringing his business to the table so that we can help him in all the ways. And if you're interested, in the show notes, we are now going to add a section so that you can sign up for a guest hot seat as well. Final thoughts, Ronnie?
I just wanted to also say, how fun was it to have Leilani last week? Like,
I want her back. I told her, I was like, why are you on here more often? So I feel like she should be like the first Thursday of every month or something that we just block for the 3 of us. Cause that was really fun.
No,
and
that's
now
so
you
much
get
fun.
to like, she has so much to offer.
This would have been a good talk to have her on too. I would have liked to know her viewpoint on some of these things.
Okay. I will try and rope her in. I don't know what her dealio is. She may have to like not have like a set schedule, but we'll try and get her at least maybe once a month or so, something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Tell her next time we'll revisit this topic with her because I'm curious.
So hey Lonnie, if you are watching this, you need to come back. Bye everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.